I am here today. I'm Deanna. I'm in Salt Lake City, Utah, and I am here to show you how to make a pattern from something that is just so beloved to a child. So let me go ahead and show you. I have got this little tote that I got at the dollar store, and it has a handle to it. And on the front of it, I got it for Easter. And you can see it's been well used and well loved. It's got like little watermarks on this. But this is something that my granddaughter uses, Ellie. And I actually bought two of these. So I don't know why I bought two of these, but I bought two of these. So we're going to take this little tote apart right now. And we're going to go ahead and sew another one. And I'm going to show you how to make a tote or something from something that you already have. So I don't know where to buy this anymore. Let me know where you guys are from. So, and if you have grandchildren, and if sometimes you see something that's just so wonderful, but you can't buy it anymore. And so I am going to try to replicate this. Hi, Delinda. It's so good to see you. I'm going to try to replicate this and I'm going to make probably 6 of these for my granddaughter. But, and then I will go ahead and do a blog post about this too. But we're going to go ahead on how to go ahead and replicate something that you really love, but it isn't available for sale. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started on this. And I'm going to show you a little bit more. So I'm going to flip my camera around for you. And let's go ahead and do the overhead look. So here we are. You can see here is my tote right here. It has a little bunny rabbit on it. This was made, thanks Catherine. Ellie is so cute. She likes to keep all of her toys sorted. She likes all the farm toys, all the bath toys, all the frozen toys, all her cars. She likes them sorted, and then she likes to carry them around by sorting. And this little handle is just long enough for her to be able to put it over her shoulder and carry things around. And then she also loves to take things with her, say in the car or things like that. And so this is just a great little practical item. It was really inexpensive at the dollar store. So let's go ahead and take this apart, because I do have 2 of these, but we are going to actually take this apart and examine how it was made, and we're going to make a pattern from this. So I want to go ahead and show you a little bit of how it was constructed. So we have this little felt handle, and it has actually held up really well. And we are going to use felt as we are replacing this. Hello, Margaret. It's so good to see you. So we're going to just take a few of these things apart. So right here, I'm just kind of using my seam ripper, and you can see I'm just taking my little handle off. And I'm gonna use similar materials. I do want to make a whole bunch of these for her. I want to make some for her house and then some for our house. Let's see here. I don't know. Anyways, but so there is the handle. Okay, right here I'm going to show you this was done with a zigzag stitch all the way down and across. But we're going to go ahead and just kind of take these out of here, and there's 2 layers, and you don't have to remember, thread often is not as strong as the materials that are being used, so you can very often pull those apart. Once again, I want to show you there's a zigzag stitch down here as well, so we're going to just kind of pull these apart right here, and that zigzag stitch is holding pretty well, so we're going to go ahead and just pull that along here. And if you want things to hold a little bit better, you can use a polyester thread versus, say, a cotton thread. I idealistically want to go ahead and make this so that it has maybe a quilted look to it here on this top part. But right now, I am going to replicate this with the felt, and then I'm going to replicate it with the canvas. So we're going to use 2 different fabrics. We're going to go similar to what this is, so we can make sure that we've got the right shape that we're wanting here, and we're going to change a couple little things about this pattern too. So we're going to go ahead and I'm going to change it into a quilted tote, but we're going to use some of these things to help us make a pattern. It's not going to be identical, so I'm not trying to copyright anybody's things. But this is something that it's just a random little tote bag. It was an Easter egg type gift, but it was cloth. So it was like a little Easter egg thing that I got from the dollar store. So let's go ahead and keep taking this apart and it will come along. So it's not something, and I have been looking everywhere. I've been looking on Amazon. I've been looking in like different stores like Target, Walmart. I've just been keeping an eye out for another bag that I can make for Ellie that's kind of simple to make, or to replace these bags, because I only had 2 of them, and boy, she carries them everywhere. But she does like to keep them separate. Okay, we've almost got this completely apart. So right here, this will become our bottom piece, okay? And we will change this up and do some different things, because we're not trying to copyright or to violate anything, but we're going to use this as inspiration, and then we're going to change it from there. So I'm also going to show you right here, there is a stabilizer that was used with this fabric right here, and this was it's almost like laminated, so you can see how that was used. Okay, so we've got this section right here, which will be, we're going to use a canvas fabric. We're going to use this as our bottom, and we're going to use this as our handle right here. So let me go ahead and show you what I have. I love this pink that I have right here, and I would love to have like maybe a pink one, a yellow one, maybe a blue one, and make several different ones for her. But I also want to be able to quilt this. I also have on hand some canvas. So this is just canvas. I love to have like a duck cloth that has some really good structure to it. And then if I want to, I also have a stabilizer right here. So this is a stabilizer that you would kind of put inside a purse or anything like that for structure, or to use that for sewing. I do have a brand new bolt of a sew-in stabilizer. So this is not an iron-on stabilizer, but it is a sew-in stabilizer. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. Well, let's work with the pink to start with first. Okay, so we're going to just go ahead and bring this over, and we're going to get ourselves feeling good with a certain amount of this pattern. So I just want you guys to be able to know that if there is something that you just really, really love, but you can't find it, I mean, this I bought at the dollar store, so who knows where this came from. And I'm going to go ahead and just roll this around. It's a pretty classic little bag, but I can definitely make this bigger. I can make this with a longer handle for her to use. So there's definitely different things that I'd like to customize for this for a little bit later. So there's the bottom of this little circle right here. And I do have to say that this one has more structure to it. This is more of a flimsier kind of bottom. So I actually might use a little bit more, or put a stabilizer, combine a stabilizer with this, and maybe even cut 2 of these is what I think I will do, because I do want this to have a structure to it. So let's go ahead and look at this. So what I wanted to talk about was when you are working on something that you just absolutely love. Hello, Josephine. Hi, Mary. How are you? It's so good to see you guys. I guess I could put the camera over here on me instead of the sewing machine until I get sewing. It's so good to see everybody. I just absolutely love it. Yeah, but you want to really study the materials that are being used, so that you can go ahead and replicate or get that same type of structure that you love. So for example, right here, one of the things I could do is actually quilt this with a little bit of a stabilizer in between. And that might give me the structure that I want. So let's go ahead and take this with this sew-in stabilizer. This is not in fact, let me use my scissors for this one. So this is not a stabilizer that is a glue-in. So this is a sew-in stabilizer, but I can go ahead and layer this right like this. And I will put these in between the 2 layers, so I still have the same structure of what I want for my granddaughter. so that the kind of the bag keeps its form and what it looks like. So let's go ahead and do that right there. Okay, so because I know how I want to have this behave, right? So we're gonna go ahead and layer that like a sandwich. I have my top layer, my stabilizer, and a bottom layer. So that's what we're gonna do right there. Okay, so let's go ahead and take this section right here and let's cut this out with the canvas fabric that I have. So let me go ahead and trim this off so that you guys can see this a little bit better. And we'll use that as kind of like a road map. I'm gonna just go ahead and cut off a section of this because I do have a bolt of this canvas. And let's go ahead and open that up and look at this right on top of there. So let's give this kind of like a good shape. Let me grab my ruler. And we're gonna kind of trim this down. And we're gonna start with this shape, although we're gonna have it evolve. The other thing I'm wanting to do is make Ellie just like a cute little backpack. So I'm gonna have this just come up maybe a little bit. Well, let's just go ahead and go right like this for right now. But we're gonna bring this over, right like that. And didn't cut quite all the way through, so I'm gonna give it another little cut there. When you're dealing with different fibers, they kind of perform differently, right? I'm used to cutting my rotary cutter with quilting cotton. Okay, so there we go. And let's go ahead and bring this around. So we're gonna just sew this together real quickly. And I am going to study the structure, how heavy this duck cloth canvas is. There we go. Okay. So now I'm going to feel these, and this feels good, but I think I want a second layer with this. So let's go ahead and do another one of these. So let's go ahead and roll this down, and we're going to do 2 layers of this duck cloth for just right now because we want it to have the structure that we want. And what I want to do is make some of these that actually are quilted. So in order to get that quilted look, I'm going to need to actually have some structure in it with a stabilizer. So let's go ahead and do that again. But you can see that this is a great way to make something similar from something that you already have that might be really successful. And we're going to use, say you have like a skirt that you absolutely love and you wish you could buy 20 skirts of something, then this is something similar that you might do. Not 20, but maybe 10 or 5 of them in all the different colors because it just looks so attractive on you. This is a way that you can go ahead and make your own pattern. Okay, so we've got 2 of these now. I am going to go ahead and zigzag these together right here. And we're gonna go ahead and get a feel for what that looks like. And then we are going to stitch our bottom to it. So this will go very fast, you guys. Hi, Amanda, how are you doing? So, and then what we wanna do is we're gonna be able to quilt this later. So we're gonna wanna go ahead and give this a nice quilted look. So I'm not gonna do that right now. We're just gonna see if we have the shape and the size that is consistent with what we want. So I'm gonna go ahead and change my foot from my usual quilting foot to now my wider foot, okay? So we're gonna go ahead and do that, and let me bring you over to the sewing machine. All right. So let's see, we are still waiting for the twins to arrive. Hopefully they don't arrive soon. Right? Now, the first thing that I am going to do here is I'm going to start stitching this together with my bottom right here. So let's go ahead and pull this together. I wish that we had like a little bit better of a shape here that was consistent. But you could take a bowl and go ahead and work with it as from a bowl shape and go from there. So we are going to go ahead and attach this to right here at this moment, and I'm going to start on this side, and we will keep rolling and rolling and rolling this. And then we will turn this inside out, or I could put a seam allowance on that. And I'm going to go ahead and use a zigzag stitch for this, and we're going to have that go back and forth. And I'm making sure that when we're using this zigzag stitch that I've got it maybe a little bit closer together. So let's go ahead and go back. I want this to kind of be a little bit broader. So let's go ahead and see what we're doing right now. We're going to go ahead and give this a start. Okay, it's starting the zigzag, and we're going to just kind of roll it right along this base so that if we need to trim anything off, that we can. But I'm going to bring that right along. Okay. And we'll see if this kind of gets its shape that we are wanting to grasp. And we're going to just zigzag that around. And you can see I am slowly easing together the bottom circle on this as it's coming together. And we're going to just keep pulling that a little bit closer and a little bit closer and closer. And I think Ellie is really going to enjoy these. And I hope this has some good structure for her and will work. I don't know. We'll see what happens. You can see my zigzag stitch. I'm using a gray thread, and that way you guys will be able to see it. I'll give you a little eyes view of that. I'll bring this up closer to the camera. Okay, we're going to go ahead and pull this around a little bit more as we're getting tighter and tighter here. Let's go ahead and bring that around, and we will see. We'll see if this matches, because we always have to tweak and see how things work. So we're going to go ahead and, whoops, I should have had my needle in the down position as we're coming around this. Let me go ahead and make that always stay in the down position as I pivot this some more. We're kind of getting a good little shape there. Let's bring this over again. And let's keep rounding this corner. I should maybe put the camera over here for you guys to see the needle and everything else that's going on with it. Okay, there we go. And I can also go, oh, okay, keep that in there. It's kind of shifting just a tiny little bit. It gets a little awkward as you're matching everything together. And let's bring that over. Okay. So this is an easy way of how to go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and cut my thread real fast, and let's see what we're looking at. I could actually have done my, whoops, my zigzag stitch quite a bit bigger right in here, so you can see my zigzag stitch was pretty narrow, but it's definitely catching the layers. I could go back over. It didn't catch all of this layer right here. You can see, look at that. So we need a wider zigzag right there. But you can see as we're coming together over here, let's look at this shape and examine this. Then we will bring this together. We're wanting to make sure that we've got the shape that we want. So I think that's pretty doggone good. This is something that will turn inside out. I need to go back over this with a wider stitch because it didn't catch all the layers of the fabrics that I'm using, because I am using additional layers of fabrics here. So I'm going to go take this back around, but then I will add my little handle right across to it. So you can see that right here. I will add a little handle that comes across, and I'm going to kind of finish this seam off right here. I might even put a little bit of some binding or something else on there so that it's got a playful look. So you guys, let's go ahead and flip the camera again. I just want to let you know that if there is ever anything that you just so love, that you can go ahead and use something as some inspiration to then take you to where you've got a pattern where you can then be able to replicate that to be able to do it more and be able to get that with the fibers that you want. So my goal is to get this to where we're quilting it, but I want the right structure and the layers that we're using here. And so in order to get that, I'm using multiple materials, but That's what we do as quilting too. So I could even quilt, where did my stabilizer go? I could even quilt some fabrics together and use this stabilizer quilted in with the fabrics together. And that would give it a little bit more of the structure that we want so that it stands up and can hold the toys that Ellie loves, whether it's her bath toys, whether it's her outside cars, or whatever that might be. So think about your project, how you're wanting to use it, what materials you're wanting to use, and try to get that replicated and come up with your own pattern for the personal use and the intention that you have for your project. So study your materials, and then you can go ahead and take that into a quilting world or whatever else that you're wanting to do. Okay, you guys, I'm going to get this done. I'm going to be working on this little project here today. I will post a picture a little bit later of what it looks like. And if I can get my machine to agree with me, I might even embroider her name on the bag too. So then she can start recognizing her name. It's so good to see you guys. I can't wait to see you. And a little bit later, so Amanda, you're recovering from surgery. You broke your wrist last weekend. I am so dang sorry about that. Oh my goodness. And Margaret, it's good to see you too. And we all need to catch up and get going and find out what your summer and what everything has been like. So I'm anxious to talk to all of you guys. So I will post a picture pretty soon as I have my demo kind of put together and start the quilting techniques with it. All right, you guys, love you guys tons. I'll talk to you a little bit later. Have a great day and enjoy yourselves. We'll see you a little bit later and talk to you for sure. I'll be live next